I'm here with Hanky, who's going to give us a quick background on what specifically kicked off this bill. And Hanky, to my understanding, it was a specific case.
Indeed, it was. We had a young woman in our custody who had just given birth. She was here on a no bond status, which meant she was going to have to stay in the jail after birth. Her offense was very minor. It was a violation of probation on a nonviolent offense. We intervened with the state's attorney's office and was able to get the charges reduced, get her bond status reduced so she could go home with the baby. And Sheriff Dart basically challenged us to come up with a broader solution to such situations, and thus the bill was born.
And that solution, that bill, what does that really mean? Describe that for us.
Right, so instead of women being in our custody who are pregnant and have very low bonds or on minor offenses, there would have to be a hearing that a judge would have that would establish that that person needed to stay in custody because of public safety.
Now, if that does get signed, what are the alternatives for the women involved in this?
Right, so a judge could choose to let them go on an I-bond, which means they go on their word and promise to come back to court. They could be put on electronic monitoring in their home. The whole idea is to not have any more babies born while in our custody.
And last question here to wrap up this interview. You know, there's obviously a lot going on. There's a monetary value to this bill, and there's also an emotional, moral value to this. What's the reason behind putting this bill forward?
Well, as a mom, and I would think Sheriff Dart, as a dad, we're sort of leading with our heart, but there's a great deal of money to be saved, not just in terms of prenatal care for the moms in custody, the cost of the babies being born, but the long-term costs of separating a mom and a baby at birth.
Well, thank you, Hanky. Thank you so much for your time. And that bill is actually waiting on Governor Bruce Rauner's desk right now to be signed into law, so we'll keep you guys updated on that.